Look, there it is, the second star to the right and straight on to morning. Oh, the river Styx is a putrid stream. Oceanus is too good for me. Olympus takes too long to climb. Yggdrasil is just a tree. But the infinite staircase takes you there. The Grand Old Stair goes everywhere. A few short steps will bring us home and fulfill our every dream. The infinite staircase ushers travelers to the destinations of their dreams. It spans all worlds and planes, drawn to sites where intelligent beings have expressed some sort of creative spirit. The expanse ascends into an eternity of hazy darkness, rising to countless landings that each hold a door or doors to someplace else. Although no reliable map of the staircase exists, travelers can generally figure out the nature of the plane to which a door will lead by examining the physical characteristics of the door's landing. Evil planes tend to be shrouded in cobwebs and shadows, whereas those leading to the upper planes generally are quite clean, with architecture reminiscent of their associated locale. Though stories abound along its many steps, the staircase is the journey, not the destination, an extraordinary means of traversing the multiverse. Here and there, other staircases come into view, some of which appear to be upside down or at odd angles to the traveler's perspective. All are part of the same massive expanse, which bends and folds in on itself in a manner unperceivable by the traveler, but no less real because of it. The infinite staircase touches the planes from the abyss all the way to Mount Celestia in several locations, usually in cities frequented by mortal or demonic artists and performers. One landing leads to Grazit's capital of Zelatar, another could lead to Bahamut's palace. Other doors open to Zaragmalok, the seat of the sacred fane of Malkanthet. One famous connection is a strange conduit that appears within Seluna's Hall of Silver when the moon is full and the fog creeps up from the water. Stories say that it leads from Argentil to all the cities that exist on any plane, or to all the cities that ever were or will be, from the cities of the angels to the darkened halls of the 9 hells. This connection is a spiral of silver steps, bathed in moonlight and entwined in dangling ivy, as it rises from the Selenic Hall, which some believe to be the base of the infinite staircase. Celestials, followers of Selûne, and lovers of the arts abound near the gates of the moon, which they regard as a sacred site. Each door on the staircase occupies a landing with at least 2 staircases connected to it, leading to and from other landings and their respective doors. The doors and their landings are altered by planar magic, taking on characteristics of their destinations. Travel between landings can take minutes, hours, or days. Red light seeps from the seams of a gloomy jet-black door to the Shadowfell set into a Gothic archway. Gargoyles perch on its landing, exuding roiling mist from their open mouths. A slippery ramp of deep blue ice ascends to a frozen portal to the para-elemental plane of ice, while a clammy bridge of basket fungus weaves toward a cavernous door to the Underdark. The opposite side of a landing door could also be some forgotten doorway in an out-of-the-way area, such as a dingy alley or an old storeroom. While the doors work in both directions, most folk who live near the destination have no idea of their proximity to one of the most useful planar pathways in the multiverse. On the infinite staircase, gravity is a logical force until it isn't. The direction of its effect is perpendicular to the steps of the nearest staircase. Staircases twist, bend, and invert, occasionally allowing travelers on separate branches to look up at each other or leap from one part of the staircase to another. The infinite staircase doesn't have seasons. Its ambient temperature remains constant, comparable to a cool autumn evening with a gentle breeze and breathable air. Storms and extreme weather effects, except those caused by the staircase's denizens and their lairs, are virtually non-existent. The portals of the infinite staircase often lead to places that exhibit a penchant for creativity. sites where art, invention, philosophy, and magic flourish. Wherever there's a story to be told, the staircase might be found. As creativity wanes in these places, their doors and destinations change, and their landings on the staircase vanish over time. However, one force plays a more active role in their destruction: the Iron Shadow. The Iron Shadow is a creeping malady that feeds on creativity in all its forms. A rootless, rolling cloud of gloom exhaled by the Shadowfell. The Iron Shadow darkens the doors of the staircase, sapping inspiration, novelty, and motivation from the planes and their inhabitants. It snuffs the spark of innovation and leaves its victims apathetic and dull. Wherever the shadow falls, creativity dies. Areas of the staircase plagued by the Iron Shadow appear cold and lifeless, and are shrouded in pools of magical gloom. No spell or magic item is required to access the infinite staircase, nor do its travelers have to contend with enigmatic rulers who dictate when its doors may open or who may pass through them. Unlike the city of Sigil, the crossroads of the multiverse allow gods to freely enter and leave the infinite staircase as they please, though many reject it in favor of more direct methods of planar travel. On any given plane, multiple doors to the infinite staircase can exist, but known entrances are closely guarded secrets, occasionally protected by divas, sphinxes, yugoloths, and other powerful creatures. One benefit or threat, depending on the individual, is that the staircase is neutral ground, accessible to all who can find and traverse it. That said, the infinite staircase is not without its dangers. Each day, a traveler has a small chance of an encounter with another traveler. Any creature known in the multiverse might be encountered on the staircase's flights and landings, and some of these wanderers approach strangers with deep hostility. The greatest danger of the staircase is not strictly a danger at all, although it will cost its victim his life, his friends, and all of his possessions. Those who venture upon the infinite staircase alone, and only alone, often discover a previously overlooked thin stairway leading off a main thoroughfare to a simple door. Somehow, they know that what lies beyond that door is their true heart's desire, whatever that might be. They enter an eternity of their desire's wish, but are trapped forever in that world for all of time's threads. I am Nafas, breath of the multiverse, concierge of eternity, and tonight's headliner. The infinite staircase has opened its 1,000 throats to sing, and I, flattered beyond reason, shall harmonize. As you are here as my audience, let me regale you to a tale truly worth hearing. Behold the censer of dreams, my modest Pida vortex, suspended where stairways braid into a luminous knot. The palace inhales wind and exhales welcome. Shutterless windows yawn wide, so laughter and swallows can come and go unscolded. Marble gleams like a bottled wish. Chimes murmur in agreeable keys. Today's setting, grand but approachable. Silver wind catchers blossom from the crown and sip the staircase's endless gusts. When ruffians get clever, those same wind catchers develop opinions and absolutely express them. Come in, shoes, hooves, coils, talons, come all. The Den of Chronicles waits, carpeted in the memories of 100 cities. From the vault hangs my favorite toy, an immense jeweled censer on a golden chain, the sort of heirloom that makes other heirlooms write thank you notes. An ogre attendant in a red sash raises tongs like a maestro's baton and drops a wafer of azure resin. The censer sighs, and a tide of sweet smoke curls out, eager to hear tonight's saga. Seating anywhere, I boom, descending in a coil of perfume vapor that edits itself into my most flattering silhouette. Stardust freckles the floor as my personal branding. To my left, a winged harpist trills a greeting in Lydian. A gnome in a violet cap adjusts his spectacles. A serpent-tailed scholar arranges her notes. 2 children fold into front row cross-legged reverence. Before me, a tiefling in lapis trim claims a cushion with the commitment of a lifelong cushion claimer. Animated kettles hustle akin to a tiny clergy, distributing tea with the solemnity usually reserved for my more elaborate coronations. No tips, I whisper. You have all travelled far for a regaled understanding of the infinite staircase. You're wondering, as audiences always do, how a djinn gets the corner office of infinity. The multiverse decrees there must always be one of us to preside over the infinite staircase. Today it is me, because the planes once tapped my shoulder and I formed within multiversal winds as a watcher of the staircase and the connections to the planar worlds. Now, hospitality before cosmology. The censor of dreams is a bastion of respite in the continuous expanse of the staircase, a wonder of Aeolian architecture shaped by a being of pure wind. The tundra folk will find, when they retire, a mountain lodge with a bashful hearth and an honest rug. Next door, a beachside bungalow rehearsing for sunset. Beyond that, an elven glade with moss-soft seats, and a scriptorium that smells faintly of ink, cedar, and ambition. Every room is someone's paradise. The cloths fold themselves into respectable philosophies. But you are here for stories, and I am, constitutionally incapable of not telling them. Begin with a wish, I say, and the den goes quiet enough to hear a thought put on its shoes. High above, the silvery dome opens like an ear, the well of destiny, a sanctum that collects the multiverse's brave cries for change. Each time anyone, anywhere, dares the air with a wish, it echoes here. Tonight, the well hums with overlapping melodies. A halfling prays for a harvest that feeds neighbours first. A lich whispers a human name they wish to keep falling to the fugue. A queen wants her people to love her more so she can keep her throne. A baker pleads for both loaves to rise and, if it's not too much, lower taxes. The smoke listens with me, shivering into silhouettes. Lovers, citadels, caravans. A cat who refuses to admit it missed you. A child in front lifts a hand. Yes, Dawnling. I wish, she says, clutching a locket, for my mother to find the right door, so I may see her again. I miss her. Ah. The staircase's favourite genre, reunions with moral heartstrings pulled. I could, with a single well-aimed word, peel reality like an orange. That power is the noble's burden. The trick is spending it without putting a dent in destiny's fender. So I choose a lesser syllable with livelier manners. Show me where she stays, I say. The censer blossoms a road of smoke, boot prints across blue snow, a lantern swept high, the precise stubborn tilt of a hat you cannot teach, only inherit. The thread runs from the girl's locket to a door 3 flights above, currently disguised as a mosaic of laughing fish. The winged harpist slides into a brighter key. The snake scholar's eyes glitter. The ogre blinks once and smiles the way mountains do, slowly, then all at once. Good news, I announce. She's not lost, merely being adventurous. The correct door awaits. Take the 3rd staircase counterclockwise, ascend until the chimes sound like gossip, and speak the words. Winter takes its toll, whether you're willing to pay or not. The child's breath hitches, and because I am profoundly susceptible to simple human hope, I weep. Handsome, operatic tears. The chimes then do a sympathetic shimmer. I compose myself with a sniff debonair enough to qualify as weather. The ogre adds another wafer of resin. The smoke deepens to lapis and throws shadows like compliments. The kettles make their rounds. Oolong, for honesty. Mint, for remembering. Black tea, for heroic jawlines. I pantomime the staircase's etiquette, complete with diagrams drawn in vapor. We boo, with good humor, a trio of imaginary brigands who think taking over the rundown hook, line, and sinker tavern is a scalable business model. Somewhere outside the tavern, a pack of ruffians take justice on the brigands. The unintentional do-gooders huff once, and that is the end of the foolhardy affair. Now, as I have the power to grant a wish, or simply information you may wish for, let me tell you in a detailed approach of my domain as documented for the most up-to-date record. Created by Nafas to shelter visitors from other planes, the Censor of Dreams is a testament to the noble genie's generosity and might. Many who stumble on the infinite staircase glimpse the genie's luxurious residence at some point during their journeys. A nexus held aloft by dozens of branching staircases, the palace envelops its visitors in unimaginable comforts. As a traveller passes through his domain, they come to the Den of Chronicles, where tales come alive. A true storyteller's sanctuary. In the carpeted hall, Nafas weaves a never-ending tapestry of tales from the wishes he has heard. An immense jeweled censer hangs from the ceiling on a golden chain. Whenever a story begins, sweet-smelling incense wafts from the receptacle and spreads throughout the palace, notifying its visitors that a new chronicle is about to unfold. As the narrator, whether Nafas or another raconteur, speaks, the fumes take the forms of subjects within the story, dancing to each turn of phrase. Meanwhile, animated kettles distribute steaming cups of hot tea to avid listeners seated within the hall. As the traveller moves through the palace, and if they are offered accommodation, they will come to the palace's accommodations. These are individualized oases sprinkled with genie magic. Illusions within each room tailor its contents to the preferences of its guests, transforming it into a personal utopia. A traveller who hails from a snowy tundra might melt at the sight of a rustic mountain lodge, complete with a crackling hearth, a bearskin rug, and the savoury scent of dwarven ale. The next room over might appear as a beachside bungalow, a peaceful elven glade, or a wizard's scriptorium. Every room is someone's paradise, an illusion, with traces of lilac and blueberries forms, as the shape of Nafas in all his majesty sits with the 6th page of the tome in his hands as he regales further. Nafas is the breath of the multiverse, an ancient djinn born from the planar winds that blow through the myriad doors of the infinite staircase. He is a timeless force of untold power, a genie made noble by the planes themselves. A cloud of twinkling stardust follows Nafas wherever he goes, as evidence of his cosmic might. No bottle, vase, ring, or lamp can contain Nafas, as the genie is bound to the infinite staircase itself, anchored to the extra-dimensional realm that created him. From the steps of the staircase, Nafas hears the wishes of creatures across the multiverse, but cannot act on them. Moved by their stories, but barred by circumstance, Nafas relies on adventurers, whom he considers the living manifestations of a wish granted, to respond to these calls. Nafas isn't the creator of the infinite staircase or its ruler. He doesn't control the staircase or its doors, and he holds no sway over their destinations or who may enter through them. The genie is a product of the multiverse, a distant observer bound to the realm by the circumstances of his creation. Finally, an elf-like woman strolls past the genie, bowing politely, and then takes over for the elf-like woman, who had continued to thrum and oscillate the harp throughout his tale. The genie smiles, then chuckled. "Oh, how impolite of me. Let me finally wrap this up with who these delightful maidens are. Creatures known as the Lilendi act as the custodians, guardians, and managers of the staircase. Complex and perplexing, these enigmatic creatures appear as human or elf women, from the waist up, but have the lower torsos of multicolored serpents and the wings of some brightly patterned bird. Lovers of music, art, and all creative endeavors, the Lilendi consider the staircase to be their most sacred site. While the race is generally peaceful, they are quite capable of defending themselves and the staircase. The Lilendi also hold grudges for a very long time against creatures that offend them. And let me tell you, those grudges do really last centuries. The Lilendi's respect for creative expression means that material goods and even food mean little to them. A song, a poem, or a piece of artwork holds much more meaning. The Lilendi also allow anyone to use the staircase, though they seem to bear animosity toward the Bartezu, or devils as they're known on the Prime, and the mechanical modrons of Mecanus, perhaps due to injuries suffered as a result of one of the modron's infamous marches. A last word for the planar wanderer. When the roads end and portals falter, follow the cadence of footfalls into the never-ending mist. The infinite staircase does not promise safety, only passage, and those who heed its hush find that every landing is a choice, every door a destiny waiting to be opened. Oh, the river Styx is a putrid stream. Oceanus is too good for me. Olympus takes too long to climb. Yggdrasil is just a tree. But the infinite staircase takes you there. The Grand Old Stair goes everywhere. A few short steps will bring us home and fulfill our every dream.